One of our callings and core values as ICEJ is to speak up against the anti-Semitism all across the world. That's why we are today here in Brussels, Belgium, in the European Parliament building, hosting a symposium concerning the EU labeling guidelines against Israel. We've been here together with 13 nations, representatives from ICEJ branches, and this symposium has been hosted together with the European parliamentarians Hannu Takkula and Bas Belder.
There's been a massive campaign against Israel for the last 15 years, very concerted, very deliberate campaign, the boycott, the sanction, the divestment campaign.
The truth is that it's very heavily funded by hostile elements in the world, Arab countries that are anti-Israeli in its core.
The way the European notice applies is every single Israeli product that is sold in Europe should have appropriate labeling so as to warn consumers away from products from disputed areas.
It is unlawful. It is against international trade law, for example.
יש עוד כ-200 סכסוכים בכל רחבי העולם. אז למה אירופה החליטה להחליש רק את ישראל?
The countries will not be able to sell the products that are Israeli products from disputed areas unless there's some indication to consumers of where these products are from that the European Union likes.
There's a few people who lose from this policy. Above all, the people most impacted are the Palestinian workers.
Thousands of Palestinians will most likely lose their place of employment because these factories, these Israeli businesses cannot afford to exist anymore.
Slowly, many people started to understand what's going on. Because people don't care, they just think, okay, it doesn't matter if there's some labels and so on, but they don't think about it deeper. What is the circumstances and what it really means for the Palestinians and Israelis.
We should not forget that for Jewish peoples here in this continent, in the 30s, the beginning of the Holocaust was the isolating of the Jewish communities and kauf nicht bei Juden, don't buy Jewish products in the Jewish shops.
I don't think they realize, or maybe they just don't care, that they're violating the law.
At the same time, the European Union is advocating that we should lift sanctions from Iran. Iran, a nation that sponsors terrorism, that funds most of the terrorism in the Middle East. We should lift sanctions from them. We should apply sanctions on the only democracy in the Middle East, the only nation that is a true ally of Europe and the West in the Middle East, and that is Israel. It's insane. The question that people always ask is, what can they do? And sometimes it's very intimidating. You look at a building like the European Parliament, it's huge, it's intimidating, there's a lot of power, and you feel that your voice is insignificant. And as Christians, we have to remember that our voice matters. Our voice matters above all before the throne of God, that He hears us, that we have access to the throne room of the King of Kings. So get involved, find your church, find a prayer group, find a way to engage in prayer for Israel. Israel has never needed your prayers more than it does today. Your voice also matters in the halls of power, that every politician is elected, and they're elected by voters. And if voters write to them or call them or show an interest in what they're doing, they will listen.
It's very valuable, it's more than valuable, it's priceless to have big communities, powerful communities like your organizations and other countries as well. That can stand out, and we can show that our interests align together and form kind of a united front, because that speaks volumes.
We just want to say thank you to our supporters and friends for enabling us in our fight against the anti-Semitism. This is precious. Thank you so much for your generous donations, for your prayers, and please continue standing with us.